Well, hello and welcome back everyone. You join me back on the all-new Forza Motorsport, which has gone a little bit laggy on me. So I'm just going to come out of that real quick. I'm not sure quite what happened to my screen there. Let's restart. There it is, the beautiful Forza Motorsport. Now, carrying on from last night's video, I had a little bit of trouble staying awake. That was my problem. That's why there isn't a second video immediately after the first one. I did record a second video, but I was just yawning all the way through. Yeah. Even started to make myself yawn again. So yeah, no, I thought, you know what, go to bed, clear head, wake up, and get on with it. So, I mean, all it was going to be today, well, we're going to start off today. There we go, look at that welcome centre, see what's new in the showroom, new featured details. Yeah, looks good. We'll explore the welcome centre in a bit. I'm not sure if it's worth a whole video, but we'll explore it. What I do really want to explore today, though, is the cars. My cars, yes, we know what we've got. Let's have a look at buying some cars. I don't think I'll buy any cars. We do have, obviously, a featured section straight away as you open it up, which have got some good limited time deals. I like the look of the new BRZ, which is pretty cool. Anyway, jumping straight into it, Acura. We've already got the NSX, which is pretty cool. The NSX GT3, should I say. And we've seemed to have, no, not skipped a generation. It probably comes in Honda later. But yeah, so we got the 2017 NSX. Cars, eh? Dear. Anyway, the Alfa Romeo, we've got one car. I really hope, and I'm almost sure they have said it somewhere, that they're going to be releasing more cars later down the line. More tracks as well, so it's going to be like they've got a really good platform here, and then it's going to be updated as we go along. So one Alfa Romeo, it's not good enough, is it? We had like 10 in the last game. Alpine, obviously new to Forza Motorsport. I think this was in the previous Forza Motorsport class as Renault, but yeah, no, this is a nice to see little A110. I bet that's a right to drive. So yeah, we'll get into that AMC Rebel machine and the Javelin. Yeah. Now, this looks like a real track machine. The Apollo Intensa Emozione. I'm hoping that's Italian, because I'm pretty sure it translates to intense emotion. It almost says it there. But it looks nuts. Full carbon, everything. Gold wheels, can't go wrong. Speaking of absolute nuts track cars, good old favourite Ariel Atom V8. There we go. So Aston Martin seems to be the first manufacturer that's got a real solid base of cars here. So, you know, we've got the Valhalla concept car. It's really nice to see some concepts in there. DBS, the Vulcan, Vantage, the new Vantage, of course. That's quite, I don't remember seeing this one before. The Vanquish Zagato Coupe. Interesting. I mean, we're mainly going to be focusing on the racing cars, let's face it, at the end of the day. So obviously things like the Vulcan, the GT cars, Group C car even. But then if you want to be Bond, you've got the DB5, which is pretty cool. And then obviously the classic DBR1. Moving on to Audi, we've got a couple of new cars here. We've got the e-tron, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool to see in the game. I bet a lot of people are going to enjoy driving that. Obviously our R8s, GT cars. There's nothing strikingly new from Audi. Obviously the latest TT RS, the RS4 Avant. But other than that, most of the cars, you know, we've seen in Forza, we've had in Forza. But it's still, Audi have also got quite a solid lineup of cars. Skipping through some of these, Austin Healey, Auto Union. The Pininfarina Battista looks very interesting. I've certainly got to have a go on that at some point. It's just an awesome looking car, obviously designed by Pininfarina. BAC mono, 3 cars from Bentley, obviously road car, GT car, prototype car, or Le Mans car. BMW, once again, a very healthy entry from launch with them. Obviously we've got the brand new 2021 M3 and M4, the 2020 M8 coupe, competition coupe, which is pretty cool, and obviously the new BMW Z4. Yeah, so we've got some cool GT cars in there as well, the i8, M6s, M5s, and I think just about every possible M3 imaginable. Yes, anyway, quite importantly, we do have the 1975 3-litre CSL and the 1979 M1 Pro car. Both very iconic racing cars from BMW. I used to love the 3-litre CSL, and I still do. I used to love racing it in Motorsport 7, in my own time, of course. And then, yeah, seeing it in person, it's just an awesome car, isn't it? Just looking at that 3-litre CSL is just nuts. Now this is a surprise. Brabham BT62. Yes, very interesting. I absolutely love the look of that, and I love the colour scheme as well. Obviously, the green, the racing green with the yellow stripe down the middle, and big just racing numeral on the back. Just a big white circle with a number in it. That's all it needs, and that is pretty damn awesome. To be fair, I think we're going to have to do some test drives in another video. We're going to have to get like test driving these cars, Obviously the 67 BT24, we've raced that before. We've had that in Forza Motorsport. Now, our first new Formula 1 car of the game, which luckily has already been added to our garage. I don't know how, I don't know why. But yes, the 1974 BRM. I'm really excited to kind of get behind the wheel of this one and give it a good go. It's always a pleasure to have more Formula 1 cars in Forza, more classic Formula 1 cars. Are you listening to me, Forza Turn 10? Please, more. There's not enough. We need a whole grid's worth. You can do it for GT cars, you can do it for prototypes, you can do it for classic Formula 1. Please. A 6-wheel Tyrrell? Come on. Everyone's going to be going nuts over that if you put that in the game. Anyway, that's my little rant over about what cars should be and shouldn't be in Forza Motorsport. Moving on to some new ones that are the Bugatti Divo and the Bugatti Chiron. What colour are you going to have it in? What colour is your Bugatti? There we go. Yeah, an R, very nicely done. Cadillac, the 3 that went to Le Mans. I'm pretty sure it seems like Cadillac have some sort of partnership or deal with Forza Motorsport, because I have not seen this many Cadillacs in a Forza Motorsport game. But yeah, no, it's nice to see those there, all 3 of them. It'd be good if we could get the squad out and just take all 3 of them out around Le Mans, just recreate it for the fun. Yeah, little Caterhams, they're always a laugh. Chaparral. And now Corvette, yeah, the new Corvettes. I'm pretty sure this, obviously being the poster boy for the car, for the game, sorry. Yeah, there's loads of them. The E-Ray, which we've already driven, the 2024 E-Ray, 23 Z06, the Stingray Coupe, Forza Motorsport Edition, which we now have in our garage, as well as just the normal Stingray Coupe, and the ZL1. Very nice. Forza Edition, of course, and they're all wide bodies. I can't wait to get into the customization of some of these cars. There seems to be loads of body kits for cars. Anyway, plenty of classic Corvettes too. Absolutely love them. And some of them get absolutely nuts when you get back to the 60s and 70s. Yeah, look at that 67. Can't beat it. That is the absolute icon of Corvettes to me. Absolutely love it. Citroen. Thankfully, only got one car in the game, and it's the it's the DS3 Racing that Jeremy took on that little Top Gear special that they did around Northern Italy and Monte Carlo. Nothing really new from Dodge. I haven't really made anything new, of course. A little Dodge Shelby Omni. That looks like a little hot hatch, that does to me. We'll see what it's got under the bonnet, but yeah. There's some cool cars. There's another Formula 1 car that we've already had. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Because this is where it goes nuts. Ferrari. Now everyone knows Ferrari are my favourite. I am such a fanboy when it comes to the prancing horse. I mean, just look at it. This, I'd seen pictures of it, I'd seen posters of it. You know, I've been to the factory this year. Go watch that video on my YouTube channel. I've seen them now in person out in the wild, just, you know, car shows, car meets, stuff like that. And now it's in the game. I feel like that is the pinnacle of modern day supercars. Like, look at that SF90. It's just a gorgeous looking car. I actually want to. Don't change a car, don't buy it. Look at it. Something about that front end, it's just mean looking at you. Beautiful sweeping lines all over the car. It's just, yeah, I think it's a stunning looking car. There we go. Anyway, we'll leave it for now. We'll come back to it in a bit. Because we've got obviously the Ferrari Roma, the Monza SP2. What an awesome car. What an amazing lineup. I'm so glad they haven't lacked on Ferrari, and Ferrari give their license to use all these fantastic cars. Because it just means I actually get to get behind the wheel of an FXXK Evo. For a J50, I've got to be perfectly honest, I said I'm a fanboy, but I don't think I've ever seen one of these. But we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go at some point. La Ferraris, 458s, you know, all the cars we've seen before that you would expect. The Enzo, F50s, F40s, Formula 1 car. Nice to see it again, but you can't really call it 90s Formula 1 in Forza Motorsport 7, if you remember. You can't call it 90s Formula 1 if you've only got one car from 1990 and the other car's from 1988. It doesn't work. We need like a serious spread of classic Formula 1 cars, but I praise you for this, Forza. This is what I want. A 512S. That, yeah, 5 litre flat 12 is an immense sound. And look at the car, it's beautiful. I think I'd go as far to say it's even better looking than the P4. I think the 512 is that cool of a car. But, you know, around this time period, Ferrari were just absolute gods amongst men. The P4, the 512, the 250 GTO, the 250 LM, the Berlinetta, the 250 Testarossa, all the way back to day one with the 166 Intersport, which was probably one of the first Ferraris ever made. Impressive. Ford, there's a few cool cars. You got the GT. The GT. Puma Racing, that's pretty cool. Same age as me as well, funnily enough. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I didn't expect to see that here, but good to have you on board. We've got loads of old Cosworth, Cosy engines back here in the late 70s. Some iconic cars the further back you go. Even the Mark 1 Ford GT. So you've got the Mark 2, which is the iconic Le Mans winning one, but you've also got the Mark 1. Would be interesting to put those head to head and just see how they do. Just out of curiosity. Some cool cars there, Holdens as well. Honda. So we've got touring cars, obviously your Civic Type R, which we decided not to start with. And thankfully, it's still in the game. The Honda Civic NSX-R, the early 90s one, purely because I would hands down say this was the best handling and driving car in Forza Motorsport 7 when you put body kit on it. Standard, average. Put the Rocket Bunny kit on it, all the upgrades. Once you get that dialed in, that is a hell of a car, and it's probably one of the best driving cars that you can just sit there and race. A little bit underpowered if you ask me, but yeah, you can obviously power it up to get it into the higher classes, but once you get there, there's better cars to choose from, you know, purpose-built cars. Anyway, enough of that. Hyundai. I feel like there's going to be a touring car series. Does anyone else get that from, you know, looking at the lineup of cars here? There's a lot of hatchback touring cars. That's going to be a cool series to get into. Jag. And we got some really interesting stuff here. So everyone knows the XJ220. Now, there's also an XJ220S TWR tuned version, but not many people know about the Jaguar XJR15. A lot of history behind it, and obviously it's the predecessor to the XJ220. Very cool car. I don't know if it actually made it into full production at any point, but it's going to be cool to drive, that's for sure. And we obviously like to see this as well. We got two types of Group C cars, one earlier 1983 Jaguar and one later 1988, the iconic Jaguar Finance silk cut Jaguar. They've got to be very smart about their you know, cars with cigarette sponsorships on, but we all know what's going to happen anyway. People are going to go onto the storefront, they're going to upload it, it's going to have Marlboro stickers and silk cut and all that kind of stuff everywhere. You know, they're iconic liveries, and you know, we can make them and put them on the storefront for everyone else to have. The Koenigsegg Jesko, a very, very popular car. I feel people are going to be going nuts for this, and I think be prepared to see a lot of them in the online lobbies. They're a bit of a mean car. KTM Expos, they're pretty cool, but we know that Expo GT4 has caused us some issues in the racing past, hasn't it? Anyway, on to Lamborghini. The Essenza SCV12, yes. Excuse me there. That looks a bit nuts. That is a track-ready race car. That is no road car. That is a racer. The Hurricanes, of course, and even a Cyan. That'll be cool to drive. Obviously, you got the Hurricane Performante and the Aventador SVJ. A sandwich between the Centenario and the Veneno. Even the Aventador J, just no roof, nothing. And then we go back to the classics. We got Diablos, SV or GTR. It's got to be the GTR. The Diablo GTR is just awesome looking. It kind of follows the same sort of style as Countach, I feel. Yeah, so the Espada and the Miura, and oh my god, look how sad it looks. Jurama. It's such a sad looking car. It's like, oh no, I'm not a very popular Lamborghini, oh no. Anyway, moving on. Lexus, where is the LFA? Where is it? We saw it on the promo. Maybe it's just maybe there's extra cars out there that you have to win. You can't just buy them, you have to win them, and that's the only way you can get the car out. I'm kind of on board with that. Lola, I'm very happy to have the T70. That's going to make a fantastic grid up. The T70, the Ferrari 512. I think there's a 917 down at Porsche, but we'll have to go and double check which one that is. Let's have a look. But first, Lotus. The Emiras, I've seen quite a few of these on the road lately. I don't know if you have, but they're a cool looking car in the Avija, or Avaya, however you want to say it. And once again, look at that, I'm very happy. A classic Formula 1 car, classic JPS Lotus. Now I know from my time in Motorsport 7 that you can actually livery these cars up to look like a lot of different cars. My ultimate dream has been for many years with Forza Motorsport that we could all do that. We'd have a big enough community, livery all the cars up and then build a full grid of cars. Obviously, you know, they only give us like 3 or 4 cars to work with, but yeah, swapping the liveries round on some cars and just having a massive variety classic Formula 1 race, I think that would look awesome. Need to keep it clean though, because I want it to look good. I don't want it to be like cars going proper wheel to wheel. I just want it to look good and sound good and be a spectacle, because that's what it would be, a whole grid full of classic Formula 1 cars in a game being raced properly. How cool would that be? I don't know how to say that. Link & Co. 03, are they electric? A Chinese company. I know, 2 litre inline 4 turbocharged engine. So yeah, no, they're a normal engined car. They look electric though. Maserati slacking a little bit. Not even a 250F. I mean 8CTF. A little bit earlier, just pre-war car, and the 250F would have been a much nicer car to have. Anyway, back to work I go. With Mazda MX-5s, the Formula Mazdas, they're also a lot of fun as well if you get a whole bunch of those guys and livery them up to be like a Formula 1 grid or something, like a baby Formula 1 series, which is pretty fun. Yeah, so we've got plenty of MX-5s, RX-8s, RX-7s. You know, people are going to be tuning like mad on those things. The 787B, I need to hear the rotary. Need to hear it. Please don't let me down. Oh, hold on, I completely almost glanced over the Mazda 323 GTR. That's not a car you see very often. That's not a car I think we've had in Forza before. But either way, that's a welcome addition. We're looking like hot hatches and touring cars. That's what it looks like this game is going to be focused on, and GT cars, of course, because who doesn't love GT? McLaren. Very good lineup. Some Formula 1 cars, yes. Classic racing cars, yes. John Surtees McLaren, yes. M1B, I love that. I'm not sure if that's the exact one, but you could probably liver it up to look exactly like that. I know it was a red McLaren. Okay, so we got the Mercedes AMG 1. Formula 1 car for the road, you know, that one, that Mercedes AMG 1. Can't wait to give that a go. Yeah, plenty of SLSs and C classes, C63s, AMGs. Now we're into normal Mercedes Benz, where we still have some AMG Black Series, SLS AMG, everything's still AMG. Why did they need to split them up? I love the 190E, that's another favourite of mine. Obviously, Group C cars. I'm sure you could put together a really good Group C race, actually, with this game. Excellent. Right, Minis, a little bit lackluster this time round, but I'm sure they'll add some more in later on. Mitsubishi still doing very good. Lots of Evos, lots of Eclipses, FTOs. Neo EP9. Engine. It isn't engined, it's electric. Interesting. Looks almost a bit like the Aston Martin, funnily enough. Nissan look like they've got a good spread across the board. Obviously the new 400Z, GTRs, plenty of GTRs, 350s, 370s, Le Mans cars, R390, very cool car, and all of the S bodies you can think of. Even back to the old Pulsar GTI R, that's going to go with the Mazda 323 GTR. Yeah, there could be some classic Japanese hot hatch racing going on. Can't wait to see that. get involved in that. Plenty of Nissans. I feel like Nissan have probably got the best. It sounds ridiculous, but they kind of cover everything. You know, from classic sports cars, you know, iconic classic road cars as well, like the Fair Lady Zen, the 2000 GT, up to, you know, mad 80s and 90s race cars, all the way up to the modern day. So you got drift. Everyone's going to be drifting. Lots of drift cars in there. Some more icons, and then obviously some track cars right at the top end. So I feel like they've probably got the best spread. Oh, let's not skip over Pagani, even though it's only one car. Come on, Forza. Like, just the one? Not even the Zonda R? You couldn't do that yet? Hawara BC. Not upset. So, let's talk Porsche. We have the 2021 Mission R. That was, I think that was an early poster car for the game, really. When you looked at all the promo and stuff, the Mission R was quite a big feature. Then one of my favourites of the current era is the Taycan. I think that's an awesome looking car, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel of it. Now, obviously, I know people are going to be going a little bit nuts for the older GT3s, GT3 RSs, and the GT cars in general. But yeah, 918 Spider in there still. You just can't believe how old they are now. 2014, they're almost 10 years old. They're still like new cars to me. Such a weird concept that they're almost that old now. But yeah, another Group C car, and my personal favourite 911, the 911 3.3 Turbo, or Turbo 3.3, however you want to put it round. Yes, we do have the 917 LH. Very interesting. That's kind of a odd mix between the two 917s that we had in Motorsport 7. Not quite the iconic 917K, but you know, that there's still some good racing there. You know, the full GT, Ferrari 512, Porsche 917, Lola T70. Yeah, no, there's some real good racing to be had there. Razor Tycoon Speed. Where is that even from? It's American, of course. That's why it's called the Tycoon Speed. Renault got a nice mix of cars. Oh, little Renault 8 Gordini. Interesting. Some more electric cars in the game. There's a... Yeah, you know what? I'm sure people will find their interest or anything in electric cars through this game. And that's what it's there for. But I will quite happily stick with a Shelby Daytona coupe the whole time. Subarus, there's plenty of them, and they're all effectively the same. The WRXs, the STIs, obviously you got the BRZ. Back to the 22B, which I absolutely love. Yeah, Toyota, welcome back to the game, my friend. Welcome back. Obviously, we've got the new 2020 GR Supra. Some prototype cars from both the current era and bygone era. Toyota Celica, Supra, MR2s. Is that the MR2 Turbo GT, I think? Anyway, we've got another Group C car in there, which is a little bit more nuts compared to the rest of them. Celica GT4s. One of my favourites, really, the GT4, the Trino GT Apex. Now I know people are going to be drifting those about all over the place. There we go. Good to see Toyota back in the game. Skip over Vauxhall, Volkswagen. Not really too interested. Volvo. Any car starting with V is just not interesting, is it? Anyway, so yeah, that pretty much covers off the full cars list. Yeah, I suppose next up for us is, you know, get into some cars and take them out for a spin. That's it. Well, with all that said, I hope this has, you know, made you think, you know, what car do you want first, what car do you want next. It's good to see some new cars in Forza Motorsport. Now obviously they've updated it because the last one came out almost 6 years ago, so they had to bring some 2020, 21, 2, 3 and 4 cars out. It's good to see some new cars in the game. It's good to see some old cars that weren't in the game before now in the game. You know, more classic Formula 1 cars, remember. So yeah, no, it's good to see. Absolutely. And I look forward to test driving some of them in the coming videos. In fact, let's do that next. Come on, let's do it. See you in the next one.